guys, welcome back to my YouTube channel. I hope you guys have been enjoying all the episodes. I love hearing from you on IG and the comments below. Keep them coming. So today I want to talk about something that's probably uncomfortable, right? So brace yourself, wait for it. Difficult conversations. Yes! Who loves that? No, right? And so because of my abusive childhood, I didn't know how to communicate effectively. Hell, I wasn't communicating, period, to be honest with you. So as I started the journey of healing and transformation, I realized that our third chakra, which is our throat chakra, is very important to support us in communication, right? And so because I had suffered both emotional and physical abuse, my throat chakra had been closed because I didn't know how to effectively communicate. There were times I didn't even realize I was doing it. I was talking with my hands, whether it looked like me hitting somebody, punching them, but it was so normal for me because in a way I was doing what was done to me and had to learn, okay, well, this is not how you effectively communicate with someone. And it took a very long time because as a child, I wasn't allowed to speak. I wasn't allowed to share any ideas, any thoughts. My voice didn't matter, right? And so I grew up in a household where my voice didn't matter. And so because my voice didn't matter, that showed up later on as a teenager and adult life where I still was operating from a space where my voice didn't matter. And so when I started doing transformational work and healing around that, it took some time. I realized that I had to use the people in my life who I trusted, right? Relationships that I could let people know, hey, communication is not my thing, but I'm working on it, right? I had to make a commitment to work on being an effective communicator and expressing when my feelings were hurt or if something was coming up. And sometimes I didn't know what it was, and that's okay too. Because here's the thing, if you've experienced some type of trauma or any experience that has resulted in you not knowing how to use your voice, there's a lot of things that you have to work through and unpack. So first, have grace and compassion and patience with yourself. But know that it is possible. It is possible for you to be an effective communicator. Now, am I where I want to be as far as my communication style and my skills? No, but I'm so much better than where I was before, right? For example, I have a dear friend of mine. We had a difficult conversation about 3 days ago. Now in the past, it would have looked really ugly. It would have looked like me cursing him out, being nasty, being sarcastic. I'm grateful that after 9 years, we're in a space where I can verbalize, hey, this happened, when you did this, it created this. When you said this, it hurt my feelings. And I'm okay with that. But it didn't happen overnight. It took some time. I had to learn how to practice expressing my emotions, practice tapping in and tuning into the feelings that I was experiencing in my body. It took a lot of trial and error. And sometimes that trial and error looked really nasty. And sometimes it looked okay, right? You live and learn. You gotta try different things until you get to where you wanna be. And I'm still trying different things. I'm so much more of a better communicator now than I was before. And that's because trial and error, asking other people what worked for them, trying it on for me, seeing if it worked for me, right? And so I want to share a couple of things that have helped me be a really good communicator and support me in having difficult conversations. So I've learned, one, you always want to start with what's working in a relationship. If you're having a difficult conversation, whether it's with your coworker, with your mom, your dad, your sister, always start with what's working. Hey, John, I love how you're always supportive and I can count on you to run errands or whatever it is, right? Whatever it is that that person does that's working in a relationship, start with that, right? Two, I've also learned it's not what you're saying, it's how you're saying it. Because I remember, yes, I may have had things on my chest that I wanted to address, but my delivery wasn't the best. So instead of, hey, you know what? When you said this, it created this. I would say, you know what? I didn't like when you said, and da 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 da. We don't want to do that, right? Because there's an energy that comes along with that that is not going to support having a difficult conversation. It's already difficult, hence difficult conversation. So we always want to be mindful of our tone, our energy, how we're showing up, so that we can create a space that's comfortable for the other person. Got it? Got it. And so that has also allowed me to kind of ground myself while I'm having the conversation. Because let's be real, most of the time people don't want to have difficult conversations because it's uncomfortable. It's uncomfortable. And it's okay, because being in uncomfortable situations is an opportunity to grow. It is an opportunity to do something different, to learn something different, and to really get to the nooks and crannies of like the growing and healing process. And so anywhere, any situation that's gonna help you kind of stretch yourself and get out of your comfort zone, you wanna do, because it's gonna support you. And that's the point of transformation and healing and being our best self, right? We have to be in these uncomfortable situations. And so I've learned that grounding myself and being honest, always be honest about whatever it is that you're feeling. If someone's hurt your feelings, if someone has created hurt or pain, how has that person done that, right? What exactly did they do? Talk to the person. Let them hear what it is that you experience, how you experience, and how it affected you, right? Because here's the thing, sometimes people aren't aware of their actions. They're unaware. They may have good intentions, but their actions were different. And so what I've learned is people may have the best intentions ever, and those actions may have been hurtful. Though it wasn't their intention, it still had impact. It still impacted the other person. And so I say that to say, and I've been guilty of that, right? I may have had the intention of sharing something with a friend of mine, and it didn't quite come out the way I may have wanted to, but my intention was not to hurt them, and they may have gotten hurt. So I get to take responsibility and know that my actions created impact for this other person. And so I say that all to say, be mindful of your tone, your energy, right? You don't want to roll up in someone's face and be like, da 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 da. That's not going to create effective results, right? We want to be mindful of what we're saying, how we're saying it, and the intention behind it. And so again, start with what's working, then start with what's not working. And you get to share from a place of love what the other person does, type of behavior that may create some type of chaos or hurt or pain or whatever it is for you, right? So you start with what's working, then that leads into, I don't like when you do this, or when you do this, it creates this, right? Have an open, honest conversation. And here's the thing, in doing so, you have to be willing to be vulnerable, right? The V word, yes, I get it. It's uncomfortable. But if you're looking to make a closer bond with this individual, and maybe it's not a friend or family, maybe even if it's a coworker, you still want to create a space where it is loving and kind, right? And so in order to do that, you have to be vulnerable. We've been taught by society that vulnerability is weak. I beg to differ. I've learned through my experience, vulnerability is actually where your power lies. And vulnerability can shift so many different situations where you may have made up in your head, oh my God, this is scary, this person's gonna see me as weakness. But I've experienced times where when I was vulnerable, it just shifted things, and I was like, wow, that's amazing. I can't believe that was just created. I can't believe that just happened, because I made the choice to be vulnerable. So you have to be mindful that in having these difficult conversations, you're gonna have to choose to be vulnerable. If not, you may not get the result that you want. And so let's recap. We always want to start with what's working in a relationship, right? Oh, I love when you do X, Y, Z. I'm so grateful for our relationship. I love when you do this, you do that. That will lead into But what's not working for me is when you do this, or a specific situation that has occurred that you want to share. Share it from a place of love, vulnerability, and being grounded within yourself, right? Not attacking the other person, not accusing them of anything, because that's just going to create more of what you don't want, right? Share from a place of love, and really share from a place of vulnerability and love, so that person can hear what you're saying. Energy is everything, and people can feel that. And when you're sharing what it is that you have an issue with, ask, how can we, moving forward, create something different so that way it is a win-win situation, right? So I love this thing I've learned through my relationships. Requests. My friends can make a request. Can you not do this, or can you do this? And I've learned with requests, it can be a yes, no, or let's renegotiate. And in renegotiating, you get to figure out a win-win for both parties where it works for the both of you. And it's not one person's winning and one person is losing. Because it's not a win-win situation. And if you're in a relationship with this person, obviously this person loves you and you love them. And so you get to figure out a way where you're both winning, right? Yeah. Got it? Good. Also, always honor your feelings. You may think that whatever feeling that may be arising is stupid or dumb. It's not. Trust me. The fact that you're feeling it, it's important, because you're feeling it and you matter and your feelings matter. So always honor whatever feelings that come up, and make sure when you're sharing with the people that you love in your life, be honest. Hey, this came up for me. This is how I was feeling. And let them guide you. Let them support you in kind of unpacking whatever it is and finding a resolution, right? And sometimes, and I know I'm guilty of this, I used to be in the past, and at times, where you may be trying to avoid a difficult conversation because you have in your mind how it's going to look, and this is what's going to happen, this is going to happen, and it's like, you haven't even had the conversation yet, right? Who can relate to that? Have the conversation, make a request, meet the person for tea, coffee, whatever makes you feel comfortable, right? So my challenge to you this week is, if you are holding on to something, or if there's a difficult conversation that you get to have with someone, do it. Write it out in a journal if you have to first. Write it out, write all your feelings, write what you want to say, practice it if you want to, and invite that person to have a difficult conversation and let them know how you felt after a certain situation. If you choose to, I'm inviting you to have that conversation. Try it out, see how it feels. See what worked, see what didn't work, and as you continue doing that and continue practicing, I promise you, you guys will get better. And the beautiful thing is, the more you practice, the more comfortable you'll be. I promise you. It'll get easier. And I'm speaking from experience, where now I actually love having difficult conversations because I have the tools, my friends have the tools, and so we're able to navigate and unpack whatever comes up and be able to move past it with grace and ease. And I want the same thing for you, because you deserve it. So again, my challenge to you this week, if you choose to accept it, is think about the people in your life. Is there someone that you get to have a difficult conversation with? Call them up, do it. And remember the tips that I have provided in this video. Let me know how that goes. Feel free to share, comments below, and make sure that you're following me on Instagram at Pamela J. Campbell. I'll see you guys next time. Bye.